Hello and welcome to the video. Today we're gonna take a look again at another legend team, this time around from world champion Riedel. And so we're gonna take a look here at a team with the double flying backline that I kinda dislike in general in League or Battle League, just because I don't like to play against it. We're running the shadow variant of Thackery, they were running the normal variant of Thackery. I just want to have a little bit of fun. Like honestly, I was like thinking Annihilape, Thackery, Gliga. Yes, it is going to be a good team, and yes, I would recommend you to go for the normal variant of that Thackery, because the normal variant of Thackery is most likely a little bit better. But I also kind of feel like Shadow Thackery is way more fun, Shadow Thackery looks cool on the thumbnail, and so we're gonna take a look here today at the Shadow variant of it. Shadow Gliga kind of needed, most likely. Like a lot of people say that Shadow Gliga is way better than the normal Gliga, and I feel like the same as well. I feel like for this Pokemon, it is kind of clearer than compared to Feraligatr. Like Feraligatr, I feel like the normal variant has way more play than, for example, compared to like the difference of the normal variant of Gliga compared to the Shadow variant. But anyway, first battle here, we're going to be able to completely destroy them without even showing our final Pokemon. Don't know what really happened there just now in the beginning, but we're gonna start into the battle a little bit maybe later or whatever, but it's going to be fine. We're gonna see the swap out straight away from the opponent to Annihilape. We can bait a potential Shadow Ball here, which is going to be nice as you're gonna get the shield. Now with this, we can swap out into our Gliga and we have our aerial aces, which should be fine. I could let the move go through, even with the Shadow Ball, it would be kind of fine. We still would be able to survive it, but I rather decide to, go for the shield and don't take the damage here, as the Gliga is going to be able to knock them out. Could have overfarmed by a little bit more, but like this, we can still reach that dig in time. This is going to be able to take a knockout if they're going to let the move go through, which they don't. They decide to use a shield, and we will see here as well that we can still reach another dig. I could decide to let the move go through and go into my Annihilape, but there's no reason for it, because like this, I am going to be able to go for the dig, still keep the energy on my Annihilape, which I had stored before, and we can see what they have in the back. It is going to be the Gliga, and that's game over. So, what I have to say is the game was, again, as kind of always, I don't really need to say it all the time, pretty bad today. It was just pretty garbage. There was one game which you're not gonna see where I just completely froze in the middle of it. It was not my internet connection. My internet connection was totally fine. It was just the game itself where like nothing worked anymore. Like I had to restart the game and everything. And just stuff like this is kind of annoying, especially this game that kind of happened like this. I basically played perfectly, and I would have most likely won the battle as well if they had in the back what I expected would they have in the back. They had a kind of standard line, and so yeah, it's kind of annoying. It's just kind of annoying how the game currently is, and it's kind of nearly 2 months now since the update. I think it was the biome update when this happened for everybody. The game completely got kind of garbage for PvP, so that's kind of sad. Anyway, you know what else kind of sad? The opponent going for a Hydro Pump here. I did not expect this. Like usually, like most people are not running Hydro Pump, and then most people also just go blind for a charge move there. And they decided to go straight for that Hydro Pump against our Thackery, which is not what I expected, and now we're going to be in a very tough spot. Against the Skydirge, we can still go for a charge move here, we can still go for that Sky Attack, which is going to be able to take that knockout, but we are going to be in a shield disadvantage here against that Goodra. We can still try to get a boost, anything like this, and I can tell you already, I did not get a significant boost at least throughout any of the battles today. So if I was a little bit luckier with boost, most likely I would have even been able to win some more battles as well. Here, great lead for us, great save swap as well, so you're going to have our Gliga for that Charger Bug. I am going to be able to let the move go through here. It's going to be weirdly enough a discharge, like discharge and extra does exactly the same amount of damage here against us. We have some luck again, as we can try to go for the dig. We would have lost CMP tie anyway, apparently, and discharge is coming through again. Again, go for the not crunch, like crunch if you have that as well, it's going to be better, but extra is going to be the way to go for the Charger Bug. Both are going to be resisted, both do the exact same amount of damage, but you need 5 less energy to get to extra compared to discharge. Anyway, the Lickitung is coming back in here, and I kind of like this team in the current meta quite a bit, because there are so many Lickitungs. You have a lead that can counter it, literally. We have a Save-Up that's neutral against it, and if it goes for the full farm against Pokemon, we have Thackery, which can completely tank any kind of charge move from it. Here we're gonna go straight for the Brave Bird, just to see if the opponent gonna go for no shield here or not. They decide to use a shield, and we can swap out, go for the Shadow Ball. This would also do some tremendous damage, but like their best play to go for is here just go for the Scald straight away. So I decided to use a shield here as well on it. I hope I don't get a debuff, 30% chance, and of course you're gonna get it straight away, which is going to change some stuff a little bit, but they decide to go straight for another charge move here as well, which is going to be the next gold. We're going to be able to shield up this one at least, and we see the Shadow Ball is going to be able to connect now against the opponent. This is going to be able to get them quite low, as we can try to go for the full farm now. They swap out into Lickitung, and this is going to be a good game. Next opponent, we're going to have a great lead for us, and this is something that I kind of want to talk about, which I only really realized throughout it. Basically, if you encounter a water gun variant of Lanturn in the lead, be kind of mindful of what they might have in the bag, because it's very likely that they're going to have Lickitung and Wigglytuff. That's kind of a trend-setting team right now, and here you're going to see the Lickitung as well. At this point, like, I did not realize it at all when I did do those battles, and basically, what you can see here is the big mistake that I did. I decided to go into my Skarmory. By the way, this matchup is even way better if you have the normal Skarmory, because normal Skarmory takes even less damage from the Lickitung. Of course, makes sense, but also, they're going to have a Wigglytuff in the back. At this point, I'm fairly certain they're going to have a Wigglytuff in the back, and this is going to be quite a tough one for me to deal with. The opponent goes for a charge move here, Body Slam coming through, totally fine. And they might knock me out with this one. I was like, yeah, it's totally fine for me as well. I should be kind of in a decent spot here, as the opponent can knock me out just with 1 HP there while I try to go for my charge move. I can try to go for the full farm down. Doesn't work out either. But again, I would have played this way more differently if I just knew what they had in the back already. And I'm fairly certain at least that it's going to be the Wigglytuff, because that's like a new trend team that everybody's running. And so I will be seeing here, yeah, we're going to try to catch here the opponent off guard by going for the Shadow Ball, but they stop out straight away into the Wigglytuff. Well played there, nothing I can do. This is going to be a good game. So I want to see if I can still knock them out with a dig here, but it doesn't really matter anyway. But yeah, again, like, you have to be a little bit careful. Just don't get rid of your Skarmory and you're going to be fine. Like, you can easily win the matchup against Lickitung with your lead as well as your save swap of Gligar. Just something to note, like, this is something that is also kind of important to know as well. What is kind of common currently in the meta, and stuff like this is going to be kind of common, and so knowing how to counter it is quite valuable. And this is only something that you're going to really realize when you actually play the team for a little bit. That's very important that you play the team a little bit and don't throw the team away immediately if it doesn't give you the results, because yeah, a lot of times there are those matchups where you kind of have to be a little bit careful on not getting baited by a certain Pokemon to going into your own Pokemon. For example, here they try to bait out any kind of Steel type Pokemon with a Lickitung while having the Wigglytuff in the back, which is a smart move. Like, it's a very smart move for sure. But anyway, we're going to see here the Lanturn against us. We can still swap out, which is kind of cool. We should be able to survive 2 serves from the opponent. A Thunderbolt is not going to do enough damage either, and so we can try to go for the full farm down here while keeping my shield. The opponent is gonna go ahead and go for that Surf now. We can try to farm them down, but they're gonna go back into the Pelipper. And Pelipper is such an awkward Pokemon to deal with for this team. It basically is a hard counter to this team. Same goes for Mantine. Both of those Pokemon are going to be super tough to deal with. Like, it's basically impossible to kind of deal with them. I feel like this is like really the hard core breaker. Like, I guess against Mantine it's a little bit easier maybe because they don't get to the water type moves so fast, but yeah, Pelipper is quite tough to deal with. Here we're going to try to keep some energy on our Gligar, which maybe can come in clutch later on as well. As we try to go for the full farm down here with our Skarmory, the opponent decides to go for another Weather Ball. Now they're going to be energy dry. They can swap out now as well, and they're going to have the Stunfisk in the back, which is just a horrible matchup for us. Like, the team itself is not weak against Stunfisk, just the position that we're in here right now. Stunfisk is going to have a great time as long as they play it correctly. They just have to go up to 2 Rock Slides and they win the battle, because I'm missing 1 fast move to get to the dig. If I would get to the dig, this game would be over. I would have been able to win this game quite easily, but as you can see here, the opponent even denies me, which is kind of funny, I think, but it doesn't matter anyway, and we can move on to the next opponent. Annihilape against Clodsire. Great lead for us, especially with the backline that we have. So, like, the lead matchup itself is kind of neutral, but we try to catch a move here now on our Gligar, which does not work out. They're gonna go into the Azumarill, which I'm kind of okay with, and we can try to go for the Dig now. Dig is going to do some decent damage. They might even want to use a shield here just to guarantee alignment, and I do exactly this, because actually Gligar can flip the matchup here in the 2-shield scenario if you can land some Digs early on, because then later on you just have to spam those aerial aces and you just get there way faster than the opponent can get to their Ice Beams. Anyway, we can go for another charge move here. Dig is coming through. We're going to be able to get the next shield as well, so they're shieldless at this point. And for me, there's no reason to keep my Gligar around. I can let the move go through. I can swap into my Annihilape. And I was a little bit worried that I don't get to another move in time. And I think I should be able to go for another Shadow Ball in time, but let's find out if we can. As we are going to farm up quite a lot of energy, we cannot actually. So I decided to catch the move here. It's going to be the Ice Beam, which is going to be still neutral, but it's going to be kind of fine here. The opponent has that Pharaoh Ferrothorn in the back, and Ferrothorn can run Thunder. So, if they don't run Thunder, everything is resisted, even double resisted at some points, and they are running Thunder, which is going to be a little bit annoying. So we're gonna go straight for that Brave Bird. Brave Bird is doing so much damage from the Shadow variant. Look at this. We're gonna put them perfectly into farmland range. For Steel Wing, this should only be a Power Whip if I count correctly, and it is just a Power Whip. And so we have quite a lot of energy here. Let's see what's coming back in. It's going to be that Thackery against the Clodsire. Clodsire will have to take that Brave Bird, and look at the damage output. As you can even swap out and catch them off guard going for the Shadow Ball. This is good game. There is nothing they can do about it, and we can win this battle. Second to last battle for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. By the way, feel free to leave a like, would really appreciate it. Maybe we can hit 500 likes on this video, would really be cool for me. It's free as well, so yeah, if you're still watching at this point, feel free to leave a like. As we will see the Annihilape mirror. This is a mirror matchup where you really want to have higher attack stats, because like if you have the higher attack stat, you're going to be able to align yourself. As you see here, we lost the first CMP tie, we lose the second CMP tie. It's very likely that the opponent has a higher attack stat than we have. And look at the right side, we have quite a high attack stat already. So kind of interesting thing here to see, but it's fine. Night Stage coming through, we're gonna get the shield from the opponent. We are going to be able to now swap out into the Annihilape, and we can go for the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace against the Thackery is not ideal though. They were able to catch the move, and at this point I was thinking maybe they're running the exact same team than I running, and basically it comes all down to me losing CMP tie with my lead, and that is quite annoying. So yeah, we're gonna be able to go ahead and go for the full farm. By the way, I feel like maybe the Annihilape in the lead runs close combat for me, Riedel. That could be the case, by the way. I am certain that it might actually be running close combat. I still like Shadow Ball a little bit more. I can see the play for close combat. I think there are some scenarios where close combat is definitely the better one to go for. But I just wanted to say that as well real quick, that close combat might be the option for Annihilape compared to the Shadow Ball. But they're running definitely Night Stage set, but I'm fairly certain that this was more of a comment towards that they are not running Shadow Ball, but I might be wrong, but I could definitely see not Shadow Ball, but like close combat being the secondary charge move on the Annihilape. The opponent gets a boost here, which actually maybe matters, because I think I would have been able to survive this one. If I survived this one, I would have got some damage onto that Greedent most likely, with some counter damage, which would have been cool. And like this, I don't. And so the boost from the opponent might actually have more impact than you might expect, especially as you can see now, the Brave Bit coming through, and the opponent is going to be at exactly 1 HP after one more fast move, and they can still go for the charge move. I think the boost from the opponent kind of killed me the game here. I kind of got unlucky today, I have to say, but it is what it is. Cool Pokemon to face, difficult Pokemon to face, and the Annihilape now against Salazzle. Salazzle is one of my favorite Pokemon in the meta right now. This thing is just so fun because you can just burn through things, like for no particular reason. Like Poison Fang on this thing is kind of broken, to be fair, but we can catch the Poison Fang, which is going to be resistant on our grind type here, and so the opponent decides to swap out not into the Azurill, but into the Bubble variant of Jellicent. I wonder why they go for Bubble. Don't know if there's like any particular Pokemon that they want to catch off guard with that. I guess against Gligar it is better, but like Surf has already enough anyway at this range. So yeah, we're gonna see here that we can still go for the Night Stage on the CMP tie against the opponent, which is kind of cool. This is going to be able to knock them out for sure. They're not going to use a shield because they need the shield for the Salazzle. And I'm going to be forced to go for a shield here now as well. It's going to be the Poison Fang, that's totally fine. I can go for one more Night Stage, and this is going to be able to get the final shield from the opponent most likely, as I try to debuff what I have in the back here, which is going to be my Thackery, and I let the move go through. Everything should be resisted here. It's going to be the Dragon Pulse doing still quite some decent damage, and Empoleon is in the back here. This is a horrible matchup, and I feel like maybe actually the normal variant would have been able to win this battle here. As we can see here already, Skytech actually puts them into the yellow health, so if he had a little bit more bulk, maybe I would have been able to survive. But we're going to end this video on Thackery going down through the shield, and yeah, that's going to be it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.